Yo, what's going on? I appreciate everybody who could tune in to this live because this live is going to be like filled up with some good gems, right? We're going to get some good financial gems out of this viral moment for former number one draft pick in 1995, Joe Smith. Your boy, I'm very familiar with Joe Smith because hey, that team he had at Maryland, Joe Smith, X-ray hip, hey. I thought that team should have won a national championship, but they didn't. But we're going to talk about this because I watched this video and all I saw throughout this whole video, well, I saw a lot of things, okay? I saw some stuff that some would consider, and a lot of people in the YouTube space are calling simp behavior. I've seen some stuff that other people may refer to as bad finance issues. I've seen other stuff where they talk about marriage issues. This video has a lot in there, but we're going to break it down. We're going to specifically look at the finance standpoint, but we might talk about everything else because y'all already know how we do. I'm Marcus, the debt free dad. Here we're talking finances and attorney reactions to current events, topics, and all of that stuff. I am a licensed attorney, but that doesn't mean I'm your attorney. So, hey, this is infotainment purposes. If you're looking for a professional with anything, seek a professional in your area. Make sure they got their certifications and all of that other good stuff. And hey, shout out to you, everybody who's watching, all the subscribers, the people who watch, the people who like, who comment, the people who dislike. I appreciate y'all, whether y'all appreciate me or not. I always appreciate y'all. Okay, so, like I said, Joe Smith, former number one pick in the NBA, played, I think, 3 years at Maryland, 1995, drafted by Golden State. Now, this video is going viral because it's his reaction to him finding out that his wife has a secret side hustle. I think everybody should have a side hustle, but when your side hustles is OnlyFans, it could create some problems and be problematic. So, hey, I'm gonna go ahead pull up the video so we can check it out. Then, hey, we're gonna touch on the finances. We're gonna touch on some other things, but it's definitely an interesting video. Let's go and get everything queued up. Let's see. Let's get this video here. All right. First of all, before we even watch this video, all right, before we watch this video, the first thing I thought was this is terrible marketing for her OnlyFans page. Okay, that's first and foremost. Okay, like, all right, I don't know the authenticity or the genuineness of this video. I don't know if it's legit, if it's staged, if this video could be capped, it could be staged. I don't know. They could have made this whole thing up. But before I even looked at the video, the very first thing that I saw and see is this is absolute terrible marketing. Let me tell you why. And shout out to my guy Mike Williams. Hey DFD, I came across your video browsing YouTube. You remind me of one of my homies. Please continue the videos. You are entertaining and informative. People might think I wrote that myself, but nah, that's a real person. Hey, I appreciate you, Mike Williams. That's like the name of every nice NFL receiver ever, Mike Williams. I feel like it was 2 or 3 NFL receivers with that name. But hey, shout out to you for dropping that comment early in the morning. That's just at 11 a.m. It's 9 p.m. Hey, I appreciate you for dropping that early in the morning, brother. Salute. But okay, before we even look at this video, why is this bad marketing? Okay, let's say it is real, but it could be fake. I think it's cap. I think it's fake, but let's say it is real. Whether it's real or fake or whatever, if the context and the moneymaker behind this video, because it's not this video isn't what's making the money or what she is looking to make the money. It's her OnlyFans, okay? And we'll talk about how goofy it is or isn't. It is to record telling your significant other this. That's goofy in and of itself. But if I'm recording something and I know that the subject is going to be related to my OnlyFans page, I feel like I gotta go and I feel like she should have put herself in like OnlyFans mode. Am I wrong for that? I felt like because when I watched this video, my first thought was like, one, who's subscribing to her OnlyFans? That was my very that was my very first thought. I was like, who's subscribing to her OnlyFans? And I thought to myself, like, man, if she was going to record this video, she should have marketed better. She should have had herself all did up, and then people would have been like, oh man, she probably still got a lot of. It's gonna be interesting because I know in the next few days they're gonna show the numbers for her OnlyFans page, like how many followers, subscribers, whatever the hell you got them fans that she got, and I'm sure that number is probably. I'm starting the goofy count now. Hey, what's going on, sis? Thanks for tuning in, Aaron. But the very first thing I thought is, if wife has an OnlyFans page, this is terrible marketing, because the very first thought, I was like, secret OnlyFans page. And I saw the video and I was like, why would they subscribe to her OnlyFans page? You know, the competition out there. You know how many videos I did on teachers who lost their job because of their OnlyFans page? Like, at least they made themselves OnlyFans presentable, not in a rated X way, but what I felt like she didn't capitalize on the marketing aspect. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Number one draft pick from '99, Joe Smith, found out about his wife's secret OnlyFans, which is an interesting side hustle. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Stupid, bro. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. The other thing that's funny is, like, if I rewind his back, look at his mannerisms and posture in the back. Like, that's the mannerisms that I used to have when I was like a teenager and I didn't do something, and my mother would give me like some punishment or something. I'd be like, "Hey, you gonna punish me?" He went into full blown high school pout mode. Stupid, bro. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, yo, the disrespect that comes with it, that you could even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, yo. That's fucked up, Keith. I'm telling you, bro, that's fucked up.
Wait, no. You're not gonna say fuck me or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
Recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and we're going to. Okay, look. So I have an OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course, I'm mad I'm just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you? My choice, my body, my fucking choice.
All right, all right, we gotta pause it right there. All right, OnlyFans, he don't know anything about it. She says she's doing this solo. All right, let's rewind it real quick, because hey, this isn't necessarily finance, but what are y'all thoughts on the my body, my choice position that she threw out there? Because I already know, like, hey, if we talking about medical procedures or something like that, I'm like, hey, I get it, I understand all of that stuff. But when it comes to your spouse, the person you married, making an OnlyFans page where they're showing their body to the public, is that a my body, my choice thing? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm gonna wait till somebody chime in before I give my take, because I might get canceled. I might get canceled, but I don't think I would get canceled because it cuts both ways. I would say the same thing if the roles were reversed. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the my body, my choice. I never heard of it in the context of. That's probably the first time I heard of it in the context of an OnlyFans page.
An OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course, I'm mad I'm just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you? My choice, my body, my fucking choice.
Your partner, you're supposed to come to me and talk to
me. Joe, I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. All right, hey, okay, we got to talk about that, because that's. I don't know about y'all, but that's definitely money related. Okay, I've been asking for solutions. You ain't giving me none, so I gotta create one. Hey, that sound like somebody paper may be low or their bag may be low. Not everybody calling me knowing I'm working. Yes. No, I already talked to mommy. I already talked to your mother. Nah. Bye. Wow. See, when you the cook in the family, the one night you want to take off from cooking, people calling you like, "Hey, did you cook something?" Nah, man. If y'all don't get out of here, all right. But hey, that's definitely money related. I talked to you about problems. You ain't been doing nothing, so I had to take the situation matters into my own hands. My own hands, literally.
Things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book.
Who's buying
You knew who the fuck I was when you met me.
Before,
yeah,
we met,
before,
I
and
knew
I
that.
thought that.
Man, this is looking terrible for Joe Smith, man. It's just like, I'm not calling him a simp, but it's giving off real simp vibes. Okay, so hey, a comment related to the finances may not be financing. Then we got another comment that we got to pay attention to. You know what it was. You knew what I was before you met me. That's mad sketch right there. We gonna dive into that.
I would never have to go back to anything like
I knew
this
that
again.
beforehand,
But
not,
unfortunately,
no.
that's not the case right now.
After that, everything's supposed to change.
Everything did change.
No. Obviously, it hasn't.
No, it had to. I had to do something.
You stood out there showing your body. You stood out there doing stuff like this on camera.
You act like that's the only thing that I do. I have mad jobs, but they're not facilitating everything that needs to be done. So I got something extra. OnlyFans be breaking me off. What the fuck?
Come on, OnlyFans. It don't matter what they breaking you off. It's the disrespect that comes with it.
What disrespect?
You couldn't come and talk to me about it.
Okay, well, we're talking about it now.
Because I had to find out on the fly.
All right, then. But now...
Man, she terrible.
No, so, wait. I had to find out on the fly.
So now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Okay. And so?
Man, ain't no way.
Whatever.
Man, that whole video recording in and of itself was mad disrespectful, man. Outside of the OnlyFans, even if we took the OnlyFans out of it, golly, that was let's see, her body, her choice, not when we married. Thank you. Okay, somebody agree with me. Yo, that would be like you using that line. That would be like if Mrs. DFD was like, I'm pregnant, and I'm like, yes, sweet. I mean, yeah, I'm old as hell, but hey, it is what it is. And she's like, nah, I don't want it, so I'm gonna just go and get rid of it. And I'm like, no, wait, let's talk about this. And she looked at me and was like, my body, my choice. Like that's wild to say that in the course of a marriage. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who think that is wild to even use that as an argument chip where we're not talking about constitutional. I don't know. It's crazy. I ain't living the lifestyle I got used to, so now I need more money. And if you ain't gonna give it to me, I'm getting it myself. Aaron, I'm glad you brought up that point. Okay, so we're gonna talk about before we even dive into the money. Hey, I had to do some research, and it was extensive research. I was like, now why would she say you knew what I was before you met me, and I thought I would never have to do anything like this? I was like, is thou a harlot? my gears started turning. I was like, that's an interesting thing. OnlyFans showing buns and cheeks on camera. Why would you say that? So during the course of some research, hey, his wife did have a previous career as an adult entertainer. Okay, it wasn't no damn OnlyFans neither. I talk about like hardcore, like extremely hardcore. So they've been married about 5 years. I guess before then she was doing her hardcore XXX XXL rated thing. They get married, and his expectation, as we heard in the video, was like, yo, you don't have to do that anymore. Now it's funny because they've been married for 5 years. Okay, this is 2023, so what, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Yeah, so they got married in 2018, and I was like, man, 5 years, and now she making assertions that the finance is not right. Well, let's take a look at Joe Smith ends. Let's take a look at the type of money he made. Now, Joe Smith actually screwed himself out of one of the biggest contracts ever because they tried to do some collusion to avoid some NBA contract rules, right? My daughter gonna use my computer. I'm like, let me delete this before. Even then, I was like, it's already on the internet. Why you need OnlyFans? I'm so confused as to why somebody would pay for an OnlyFans for something that's already in the public space. I don't know. That's a whole nother story, but I digress. But she asserted to it being money issues. Low, you're like, yo, the paper not right, this not what I signed up for. So I said, well, let me see what Joe Smith's finance situation is. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Joe Smith was supposed to get like a $100 million bag in the NBA. But the NBA ended up issuing sanctions and they did some voiding of contracts because him and the team were finessing the rules. They essentially were circumventing the rules of how contract could be structured to allow them to give more money to other players. And they were like, hey, if you take this amount of money in year 1 and 2 to make sure that our salary cap hit is low, in year 3, we're going to give you this amount of money. And the NBA found out about that and they nixed it quick. But during the course of his career, Joe Smith made $61 million. Hey, $61 million, that's a lot of money. Now, let's put that into context. Anytime we see what an athlete make during the course of their career, I immediately chop that in half for taxes. So let's say after taxes, he made $30 million, okay? We're not even going to count endorsements. Hey, what's going on? I appreciate you tuning in. Hope everything good with you. Now, we're not even going to count endorsements. $61 million during his playing career. Let's cut that in half. Let's say he made $30 million after taxes. Well, I look, they've been married for 5 years. They got married in 2018. Interestingly enough, Joe Smith did an interview in 2018 with Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Alex Rodriguez, and he talked about how he was living paycheck to paycheck. Let me go ahead and pull up the article. I'm going to read it. It says, Smith, who earned $61 million over his 16-year NBA career, previously opened up about his finances and living paycheck to paycheck in a 2018 interview with Yankees legend Alex Rodriguez. After taxes, agent fees, management fees, Smith said he only pocketed about $18 million over the course of his career. All right, so let's think about that. $61 million led to him having $18 million in the bank. And with $18 million in the bank in 2018, which would be the time they got married, he was explaining to Alex Rodriguez how he was living paycheck to paycheck. Let me see. And I believe those paychecks only come during the season, not year round. So a lot of athletes spend it all and forget about the non-paid months. Yeah, I agree. That's definitely, I believe, how it's structured. And that's what happens. They get so much money front loaded. And you got to think, in 1995, I mean, this first few contracts, this dude was like maybe 19 or 20. So, I mean, you do got to chop something up to ignorance. But he was living paycheck to paycheck, according to him, in 2018, which was the exact same time that him and his wife got married. So, all right, let's talk about it from a finance standpoint. From a finance standpoint, yo, hey, I always say it, and I've said it 1,000 times. The second most important thing, I used to say the first, but the second most important thing that you'll do related to your finances is who you choose or elect to have as a partner. The first is who you have kids with, because those could be different people. So who you have kids with is the first most important thing. Who you elect as your partner is number 2. But the first thing is, yo, they clearly never established some type of financial expectation as to, yo, this is our lifestyle. This is how we live in. Because she said in the video that she had plenty of other jobs. And my first question, I automatically go into attorney mode. My first question was, well, did you tell them about all those other jobs? Because if you told them about all those other jobs and didn't tell them about this, then the whole point of it was trying to be like, you already knew he wasn't going to rock with it. He was going to think it was some BS. So you already knew he wasn't going to like it. And I tell you, like me, I got a video I'm gonna drop tomorrow on another side hustle that I got. And every time I get a side hustle, people be like, "You an attorney? Why are you doing this?" but typically, every time I have a side hustle, I mention it to my wife. I can't think of one side hustle that I had where I like, "Hey, honey, what do you think about this?" And she was like, "No." You know what I mean? Typically, if it's a side hustle that's not showing all the assy and making you look unclassy, most people, golly, everybody blowing me up. Yes, ma'am. As soon as I mentioned you, you called. What's up? Yeah, I am. What's up? I didn't. I didn't. All right. They just hounding me, messing up production. But yo, they clearly never set any financial expectation related to the lifestyle. So, however he was living when they got married, and it was paycheck to paycheck for her. Hey, him living paycheck to paycheck was probably a big ass step up from what she was used to coming from the XX, triple X, double XL side of the porno industry. So she probably got set and accustomed to a certain life. I have no clue what Joe Smith is doing now, but I know he isn't pulling in millions of dollars a year. I'd be shocked. I never seen Joe Smith on a Campbell soup commercial or anything like that. So they clearly didn't set the expectations up. So financially is a couple of points. Point number one, yo, you got to be careful who you kick it with or decide to marry. When you do or before you do, you got to set up expectations with regard to the finances. Yo, this is how we gonna live. This is how the budget game gonna be. This is what we do. Three, you got to have a plan for when it hit the fan. Okay, if the finances get messed up, hey, I'm all for everybody getting side hustles, but these side hustles are expressly prohibited. Okay, we ain't gonna be shaking our ass for cash. We ain't gonna be doing any of those type of things, right? So so now that we know kind of the finances and the numbers behind this whole story, let's pivot and talk about the goofiness of this video, okay, in and of itself. Now I watched this video, and this video is actually crazy because I do think that if you're married to somebody and you're doing OnlyFans, I don't give a damn if it's you by yourself or not. It's clearly blatant disrespect not to tell the person that this is what you're doing. You know what I mean? You tell the person this is what I want to do. Y'all could. That's how me and my wife do. We like, hey, we don't do OnlyFans, but if we did, I already had my gimmick. But that's a whole nother story. But that's typically we'll talk about something. Hey, I got this idea. This is what I want to do. And then before that person do it, we actually go through the discussions and or arguments and or intense conversations about it to come to a conclusion if we're going to do it or not. The only one that I could think of where and I actually asked my son because I was like, I said, I don't want your mother to feel like I insulted her intelligence, but I thought this side hustle she wanted to do was beneath her, and it wasn't OnlyFans, okay? Even though that would be beneath her too, but I'm not worried about my wife doing OnlyFans. But she wanted to do a side hustle, right? Where she worked as or with a real estate agent to help them show houses, right? Like, okay, like I need to go see a client need to go to this place, and she was the person who showed the houses and do all of that stuff. And I was like, that's beneath you. Now, hey, everybody's situation is different, but I think that my wife, who has a master's, who has property in her portfolio, I think that it's beneath you to be running around getting goddamn keys for somebody to unlock doors so somebody could sell a house when you'll get paid by the hour and the person who's selling the damn house will get a big ass commission. I was like, huh? What? That's stupid. You know how much time that's going to take? I think I expressly said, if you caught up and you got to go all the way to the other side of town and you forgot something, don't call me because this is a stupid ass idea. Now, well, I guess I was poo-pooing her idea, but it just made no sense for like it's going to take too much time to do that, to be at someone's beck and call, running from house to house across a busy ass metropolitan city. That would be insane. But that was something we talked about beforehand. We ended up having the discussions on whether or not is a good idea or a bad idea beforehand. And ultimately, she decided not to do it. But I was like, why don't you just get a real estate license and then just be the real estate agent and just do it that way? Like, that actually, if you're going to do something with real estate, I said, you want to show people houses? They don't need you to show houses. Ever since the pandemic, everything is electronic now. You get into the house, you get a code. So it was something that was really not worthwhile. But generally, if you got a side hustle that you're starting, a new side hustle that I'm going to tell y'all about tomorrow, if you got a side hustle, most times you're going to tell your significant other about it. even if it's not asking permission. Like, I just don't think we ever be like, hey, honey, should I do this or can I do this? I don't think that's how we operate. I just get a bright idea and a harebrained idea, and I'd be like, hey, I tell my wife about it because I think it's a good idea. And then she's the one who makes me realize if it's a good idea or a dumbass idea. I think that's normally how it goes. I don't know if people are like, hey, what do you think about this? Are you okay with me doing it? That's not how it works for most side hustles, because most side hustles don't involve you busting it open for a real one. Doesn't involve busting you open. So that's point number one. But I think it's crazy disrespectful to do that particular as a side hustle and not say anything about it. Like, that's kind of wild and that's crazy. The only thing more disrespectful than doing that and not saying anything about it was recording his reaction. Recording the reaction. Well, two things, both things, these things, if I had to list, it was three goofy things that she did. Let's put them in goofy order, okay? Goofy thing number one, or goofy thing number three. We're going to put them in order from least goofy to most goofy, okay? Goofy thing number three is having an OnlyFans account and not even telling them about it. I think that was just terrible. Whenever one of us says, hey, listen to this idea, the response is usually revealed by facial expression in that words. Yeah. I literally never asked my wife. I can't remember asking her permission, but like, it's weird. Like, I think it's just her nature, and I guess because I'll never expressly ask her permission. I'll just be like, hey, this is a great idea. And I tell her about it. And then when she started talking to me, I'd be like, let me think about it and I'll get back to you tomorrow. So she stopped me from doing a lot of stuff that's stupid. But the other thing too is, but she does it on the other way. Like, she calls me and asks me stuff all the time. And I think it's one, I appreciate it and respect it. I appreciate it because she just knows that, hey, that's a sign of respect, her asking. Even if it's something stupid, she'll be out in the store with the intent to get A and see B. Okay. She see item B. Now, item B is $100. And hey, we're in a good enough financial position where if you spend $100 on some shit you didn't intend to, I don't give a damn. But she'd be like, she'll call me, be like, I saw such and such, and I think we should get a new one to replace the one we got in the bathroom. And in my head, I'm like, why the hell are you calling me with this? I don't give a crap. But when I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's I gotta respect it. I'd be like, okay, that's cool. Well, if you think we need it, go ahead and get it. That's my generic response. Then I hang up the phone and go back to playing video games and be like, man, I don't know why she calling me with that stupid. But that's her way of showing, I guess, respect for me as really the person who kind of manages the finances, even though I don't really give a damn about it. So I learned to not, call it stupid in the moment. I'll just say it's stupid after I hang up the phone and get off with her. But we generally don't ask for permission. But if we're putting her goofy behavior in order, the OnlyFans page, not telling them, the OnlyFans page is the least of the disrespect, in my opinion. I think that's the least of the disrespect. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're having a good night. Good night. I do the same thing. My husband reacts the same. Yeah, me and my wife just had this conversation the other day. I was like, when have you ever asked me something and I've told you no? Like really, when have you? Now, I might have said not right now. Let's, figure it out with the finances or the financials if it's something relatively large. But I was like, when have I ever asked you something and told me no? And she was like, I don't know, I can't even remember. She was like, but I generally ask just as a matter of course, because I know you be having things planned and all of that stuff, and you kind of organize the finances, and it's just a respect thing. Well, I was like, I appreciate it, because hey, I when I was about to get that Tesla, I was like, I ain't asking her nothing. I earned this. But all right, if we list in the goofiness of her actions, the OnlyFans is the least goofy thing. Okay, the OnlyFans is the least goofy thing that she did in that entire video of all the evidence that we had. One, because she said it was just her, it's solo. OnlyFans is paying her a bag. And she also said that, yo, you knew what it was before you met me. she was already in the double XL, triple X game to begin with. So whatever people are paying for OnlyFans is already out there. People already saw her asphalt anyway. So what difference do it make? Like, I don't know. If you already got all of this stuff out here and on the internet, what difference does it make if you're making new content with just yourself? They're like, you're upset about this. There are a lot worse things they could be seeing with regard to your wife and not paying her for. I mean, let's just be honest, right? So I think her having OnlyFans is the least goofy stuff thing that we can take from that video. The next most goofy thing though was her actually recording the video. Like that, I think that's goofy. I think that is in and of itself a really big sign of disrespect. You know, like, yo, all right, there's one thing to have it, but you're gonna record it live to put it on. Now, I suspect that was marketing. Like I said, she should have made herself look a little more OnlyFans presentable to entice people because I don't see why. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. But it's goofy to record, and I don't know what it is. I gotta say this. I don't know. Maybe, maybe because I'm black, I only notice it. But what is up with this culture of recording everything? When you have an interaction that you don't like, you record it. You go on a date you don't like, you record it. Your spouse do something stupid, you record it. Like, yo, we gotta really get out of that. When I came up, yo, what happened in the house stayed in the house unless you put it on OnlyFans. But the conversation surrounding it was going to stay in the house. Let's see. I don't see the big deal, but if you married to an NBA star, then maybe that's a stretch. Make your money married or not. Like if okay, if that were me and my wife, I would be extremely upset because her aspirin is not all the way already on the internet. Okay, but if you go from doing triple X porn to OnlyFans, that's some light stuff and that extreme hardcore. I'ma just be honest, Joe Smith. Like, yo, you knew what she did when you met her. Like, we've all seen every movie that had a plot where it was a guy who was a street drug dealer and he got out and he tried to live on the straight and narrow. And when times get hard, what does he do? He starts selling cocaine again. Sex is the same way. Like, yo, she made money and made a living off of sex before y'all got married in 2018. When, according to Joe Smith, he was living paycheck to paycheck. She came in, he probably introduced his paycheck to paycheck life was probably way better than her normal standard of living. I think that's 100% factual, probably. That don't even make any damn sense. I think that's 100% factual, probably. Exactly. Let's not be stupid. He knew what it was when he married her. Right. You knew what it was when you married her. She made money from sex appeal, clappers, all of that stuff. If times get hard and she needs money, she wasn't going to lean on her engineering degree. She had other means. She said she had other jobs that I'm sure she probably told him about, but she had other jobs, but they weren't making that OnlyFans bread. So, yeah, her not telling him, for me, in their situation, is more disrespectful than her starting the page. Like, her not telling him is starting the page is the least of the disrespect. Her not telling him is next level. Recording the conversation is next on the tier. But the number one disrespectful thing that I saw or got from that entire video, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, is golly, how she talk to that dude? Like, is that common for like people to talk to each other like that in relationships? Like, and I know every relationship is different, but Joe Smith, he older than me, right? They got married 5 years ago, right? And I like to think that the older I get, probably the more rational and calm that I generally get. Now, hey, if me and my wife were having a heated discussion and we were in our mid-20s, that probably was a barn burner. But now, like, you know, so I think that's wild. And that was the most disrespectful thing. Like, yo, it's one thing to do the OnlyFans because I really think that's light because your buns is already out there for public consumption. Not telling them, that's disrespectful. Recording his reaction, which made him look like a buffoon, was extremely disrespectful. But the way she talked to him about it, you know, like, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of, hey, I can deal with a lot of things, but nobody gonna talk to me like I'm their child. Like my mother don't need to talk to me like that. I think that's crazy, and I think that you can tell a lot about how a woman views a man in a relationship by how she communicates with him, and vice versa. I think vice versa. How you communicate with somebody is really a sign of ultimate respect or absolute disrespect. And the way she talked to that dude, I was like, man, that's mad disrespectful. And I know, like, nah, it couldn't be me, okay? like at this day and age, I'd be like, nah, you need to. Hey, we gonna have to end this because this ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna have nobody here. I only got one mother, and she don't even talk to me like that. Yeah, she talked down to him as if it was his fault. She did what she did, no ownership for her part. Yeah, I mean, really, I think that whole thing, he would have looked completely less goofy had she said, well, yeah, hey, OnlyFans paying me a bag. Let me show you what they pay me. Because I guarantee you, if this brother's an NBA player who was living paycheck to paycheck in 2018, and his financial situation may improve, but if she would have went back and got the receipts and was like, yo, I'm making $10,000 a month doing OnlyFans. All my other side hustles, I make $3,000 or $4,000 a month. He probably would have been like, "You should have told me, but you know what? You know what? This is for the greater good." But considering how their relationship was or looks from that video, they may have one of those relationships where, like, yo, it sounds to me they have one of those, and I think these are kind of weird relationships, but I don't know. Apparently, this is what women want in 2023 because I see it all the time. But they may have one of those relationships where he kind of takes care of everything, and whatever she makes is just her money. Because that's kind of the vibes I got listening to them talk about it. Because if I don't know if I do anything that makes money, like even when I invest in things, like with my own money that's allocated for me to do whatever I want, when it does good, you know what my dumb ass do? I go over and be like, hey babe, look, you see how much this stock made? Like, look, it went up 22%. My dumb ass goes, show up. I don't need to do that. So, I think they may have one of those relationships where he just takes care of everything. Cause I don't even know, outside of the triple X, double XL, XXX Tentacion industry, I don't really know what her skill set and ability is to get money. And when you're in financial straits, you're gonna go to the thing that you know to just like that former reformed drug dealers want to go back to selling bricks. If you used to selling sex, you're gonna go back to what you know. So they may have one of those weird ass relationships where money is separate. Whatever she makes, she makes. Whatever he does, he just pays all the bills, and that's just kind of what it is. But I think that's absolutely wild. You know what? Damn, I don't want to go get the prop. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call my son. Let me see. He probably sleep. Nah, it's now 41. He ain't sleep. Let's see. This dude be putting his phone on do not disturb like he important.
Hello?
Yo, what you doing? You in your room?
Yeah.
Do me a favor, man. I'm on the live. I ain't giving you nothing, so don't ask for it just because people listen. But go downstairs, look at my closet, and hanging up where all the jewelry and stuff is, the chains and everything, and my motorcycle keys are. Grab that badge for that new part-time job that I got that I'm told you I'm doing. I just don't want to talk about it because I'm recording it. I want to show people. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm following it.
Okay, it's gonna be a necklace that say OnlyFans on it. You gonna be like, damn. All right, bring it up. I appreciate you. You see it? You already went down there? It's like a little rope with a necklace on it. But you got an ID card on. You don't see it sitting right there? No, it's blue. What? Yeah. What else? What other thing on there? Ain't nothing up there but jewelry and motorcycle keys.
Don't be rude.
No, but you got. They laughing because they know that you know better. I don't put it on the camera. All right, don't put it on the camera. This dude said I curse you out when you're live. Hey, there, see, DFD commit light-hearted child abuse. I appreciate it, dude. All right, so yeah, rather than I was going to do this in a separate video, right? Because this brings up a good discussion where we talk about side hustles, right? And I personally think that everybody should have some type of side hustle outside of their normal 9 to 5, right? Like that's my normal mantra is if you're struggling financially or you have some emergency that's putting financial strain on your household and you have one full-time job where you work 40 hours a week, you're not doing enough. You need to do more, right? And so, I've always been a side hustle person because I have a problem. I don't know how to really spend my money. Okay. Now I know a lot of people like, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Let's see. Take notes of where to find motorcycle keys at DFG house. Yeah, I need to edit that out. It's like, and so, but if you got a financial situation and you only got one 40-hour a week job, you definitely need to get a side hustle. Now, I've always had a side hustle because I have a problem with spending my money, even if I save up for something. And let me explain so we can get context. Let's say I wanted to buy a motorcycle used and I wanted to spend no more than $8,000, right? I'll save up over however long it takes $8,000. Then once I got the $8,000, I don't know why I'm like this. I saved it up for the purpose to buy the motorcycle, but now I don't want to spend $8,000 on a motorcycle. I'm like, I'm not spending $8,000 on a motorcycle. So I have a really hard time, even if it's something I save and plan for, like just pulling the trigger and actually follow through with it. So if I wanted to buy a motorcycle and I wanted to spend, I'm gonna get this motorcycle used, it's probably gonna cost me about $8,000. Once I saved up the $8,000, I would probably get a motorcycle that costs $4,000 or $5,000 used because I just something about me, I can't spend that money. So one of the things that I always do is I use a side hustle for the things that I want. I really don't use them like because luckily, me and my family, we have enough income where we can adjust things to pay off debt or to address emergencies sometimes without using an emergency fund, depending on what it is. But I mainly use side hustles for the things that I want. And it's every time I have a side hustle, you're working with people, or if it's something that you're doing around people, everybody always be like, man, you an attorney? Why you doing this? Why you doing this? I'm like, yo, I'm doing it because I don't say it, but in my head, I'm like, why do people think like that? Like they they automatically assuming, oh, this dude driving Uber because he broke his hell. Like, nah, I'm driving Uber because I want something and I already got everything else allocated. So I want this money to go to the thing that I want that I'm probably going to have a problem spending it on. So without further ado, this is how this went. Your boy is an official full service Instacart shopper. Now, how did you come up with the idea to become a full service Instacart shopper? Okay, it happened like most of my ideas when I'm sitting around on my ass not doing anything. I probably was sitting around watching wrestling or football or something, and I thought to myself, man, my team getting their ass kicked. You know what? I could be doing something more productive to save up for something that I want. And I thought about it and I said, what could I do? I definitely can't do Uber because one, my car too old. And two, I don't like people in my car. I barely like my family in my car sometimes, especially the kids because they drop shit. But I don't like people in my car. So Uber was out, Lyft was out. And I was like, I'm not doing Uber Eats because, like I don't want my whole car smelling like French fries. So I was like, So I did some research, and hey, Instacart was one of the things. On average, it pays about $20 an hour plus tips. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna sign up for Instacart. I go to the Instacart website. I go to sign up. It's a backlog of people trying to sign up for Instacart. I tried to sign up. I was actually placed on a wait list. It took like 2 months for them to finally email me like, yo, we got some openings available to do the increased flow and people wanting orders. Are you still wanting to join? So I was like, yo, I'm gonna join this Instacart thing. Now, I had this badge. I had this badge for probably 3 weeks, but I was out of town. I had a death in the family I had to deal with. I had so much going on. I haven't even been able to do Instacart yet. But hey, when I do it, I'm probably going to actually do like a vlog on it to see how it goes. But essentially, how it works is you log on to the app. They have different batches. Within each batch is a certain amount of orders. This batch A may have 3 orders for items from these a certain set of locations. Batch B will have 3 or 4 orders from another location. And once you select that batch, you're responsible for completing all the orders in that batch. Now, the first thing I noted and somebody told me was, I guess people hate when they have a male or a guy who does their Instacart because they always buy the wrong items. So I don't know how long this Instacart thing is gonna last, because when my wife tells me to go to the store, I always get the wrong items. I'd be like, man, they all the same. Cheese is cheese. Do it really make a difference with brand? Yes, it does make a difference. But that's my new side hustle that I got. And I solely got it because I think it's something that I might want to buy. And I said, you know what? Rather than allocate monies that always is planned and predetermined, on those Saturdays when I'm not doing nothing, if I'm laying around the house for 5 or 6 hours, I could get up off my ass, go make, $100 or whatever it is that I make, and doing a few orders here and there, and I can just stack that money up to the side, because as quiet as it kept, football season for me is going to be over soon, because it looked like my team going to suck. So I'm going to have all day Sunday, all day Sunday, and some of the time Saturday to do Instacart if I want to do it. But I'll let y'all know how it goes. But hey, everybody should have some type of side hustle. If it's OnlyFans and you got a significant other, please do yourself a favor and talk to your significant other about it beforehand, and don't record that conversation. And let's just be honest, if you making a bag, like if my wife had an OnlyFans, but she was only showing her feet and she was making like $2,000 a month, I would be up there with my YouTube camera, like, come on, honey, we gotta get these feet shot. I'm gonna be taking her to get her feet done all so it all depends on the context. So for me, Joe Smith, I don't think you really had nothing to bitch and complain about personally, because your wife has done worse in the public space. So this is actually light work. The worst thing she did was not tell you about it. But the OnlyFans in and of itself, you know what game you signed up for, bro. It is what it is. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Those motorcycle keys won't be in that location. I'm going to move it. And if you like this video, make sure you check out the video that's going to appear on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finances and attorney reactions. Y'all take care. I appreciate all y'all. Peace. Now I got to read this before I go. I was just about to click end screen. Oh, you just reminded me of someone on OnlyFans who entered into a contract with craft beer for beer. Booty beer. I don't know, Aaron. I don't know. Like, you may have to message me that article. One, I got to see how this person looks, okay? Because, hey, even if a sister is fine and beautiful, I'm probably generally not going to want booty beer, okay? Like, it's certain things that are just a figure of speech, and there's certain things that you just keep in that figure of speech place. But yeah, send me that, because I definitely want to see that. Because I did see an article where a company is recycling shower water at apartment units, and they're making beer from the recycled shower water. And I just was like, yeah, it was pretty gross and disgusting. And that is absolutely worse than her name is. Oh, nah, that name too complex to be trying to sell somebody some booty beer. I'm gonna look it up. Y'all take care. Thanks, Aaron. Peace. That's crazy as hell.